Alright, so when you get your Kabuto, what do you do? What do you do? How do you make it fit, okay? So this one, the current version right now is tuned for, a PSA lower. This one's a PSA lower, Anderson lower, most generic lowers out there. But you're going to have some weird oddball ones, kind of like this one. It's an M16 cut, so Kabuto pretty much almost falls right in. And then you have some other one, like this one's plastic, but see, look, it's got this little ledge right here. So the Kabuto won't even sit in there. Look at that, see? So whenever you have issue with it sitting or not, that's the one thing you gotta test first, okay? The number one thing, take everything out, just your housing only, put it in there. Does it fit? Okay? So here is a PSA. I think they consider this a stout. It's similar to this one here. It is a high shelf. You notice it's a high shelf. See, the shelf's all the way up here on top of the safety. So we can go over there at low labor. First, look, make sure your housing fits, okay? It needs to sit flush. So that's the first thing you gotta do before you do anything else. If you put this in and you can't close, you're not able to close. Why can't I close it? Or why is the bolt, sticking? Well, take it apart. Take this entire thing apart. Start with this. Make sure this fits in, and it has to sit flush, okay? You have to close. If there's a tiny little gap, it could be that the bottom of this housing is too tall. And what it is, it'll sit on top of the safety. Okay? So your housing is too tall, it might be doing this bit. So this one we have cut it compared to the black one we had originally, which is the beta version, which is a little bit long. This version, we've shrunk it down so that on most lower, it should be sitting up here like this. It should not touch. Okay. So that's the first fitment, is your housing. Okay, so now you've done your housing. Next one is your lever. Okay. So do not put the activator in yet. Go ahead and put your lever in. While I'm here, I'm going to mention this screw. We had it 1 millimeter longer just so it doesn't back out. And if it does back out, it'll hit the other wall. So the total of this screw here is 12 millimeter. But the hole here should typically be about 13, so it's not an issue. But if yours is tight, it's like 11 millimeter. See right here how it sticks out? You can shave some of that off. So just back up, take the screw out, sand this tip here, or grinder. You can take up to 1 millimeter off this surface here, just so it'll fit. Okay, so now that we've got just the housing and the lever, so put it on. Move the lever around. Make sure it's not binding on anything. And then put your upper on. Okay? So after this step, after you try with the housing only, now try with the lever. Put your upper on. Slide the bolt back and forth. Make sure it's not rubbing the top of here. Okay? This, we've already removed about 1 millimeter off the top from the beta version. So this is already pretty low. Most upper should be okay. But if you rack your bolt back and forth and it starts to scratch on here, then you can shave some of this off. Here's another version that I was playing around with where it's actually shorter. So, it doesn't sit as tall. And it's a lot thinner here. I was experimenting to see if this worked, and this actually does work. So our next version will look more like this. But this so far right here, this works pretty good on PSA and most, you know, most upper. So it's not like this don't work. We're always improving. And this is our more improved design right here. So test that. Make sure that it doesn't stick anymore. Okay. Now after you know that the housing and the lever is not the issue, why can you not close the upper and why you can't rack your bolt? Okay, so I'm gonna show you with a long activator. So this one's too long, okay? So when we put on here, make sure you put your selector, a mil spec, put it in semi. If you have a Kabuto selector, put it in FRT mode, okay? You want it in active mode, so it'll lock the system. Okay, with the lever up, you're like, hey, it fits fine. Look, it fits fine. I can close my upper. Well, that's true. But when you rack your bolt back, look what happens. There's a gap now. When this comes back, look, there's a gap here. It's pushing the housing up. Well, what happened if you cannot push the housing up? If you have uppers on there, it's going to hold it down. So when it goes back, see, it's stuck. You cannot push the housing up. It's stuck because the activator is hitting the top of your trigger, which tells you this is too long. Okay? This is way too long. So this leg is too long. Now here's a shortened one. This has been, this is shortened for PSA. You put that down, you hold it down, you push the lever, you notice it's not pushing up. Once you get about here, you start to feel friction, and then there it goes. It's it's pushing down on the trigger down to the farthest position. Right now, it's fine because I don't have my finger on the trigger pushing it back. But look, if let's say we were holding on the trigger, if this was being held down and then pushed back, it should reset. Well, I'm not holding it tight, but you get the idea. So basically that's how you know, by looking at how much. Here, let me put the long one back in. By holding it down and then pushing this lever and see how much does it rise. See right here, it's rising about 1 millimeter or so. There's a gap right there. Well, when this goes back, it's rising. It's pushing this up. When you have the upper on, it cannot rise, so it's gonna get stuck. Your bolt gonna get stuck back here, trying to push this back. So if you notice how much is rised up, that's how much extra you need to take off the bottom here, okay? So you need to take it about 1 millimeter. But of course, don't go 1 millimeter, go like 0.5 millimeter. Put it in here. Confirm, test, push back again. See how much it rises. So you keep going until it stops rising. Do not go past. Don't think that, oh yeah, I'm going to cut it till it doesn't rise. Well, no, you might go too far. So be really careful as you go. Go really slow. Now the other issue that you might have on a high shelf, you look in the shelf itself when you put a selector in. It's right there. See that skinny little half circle slot that's left? Your activator actually falls in that slot, the rear leg, this rear leg here. So you have a high shelf, and that little spot, if it doesn't fit one of these, this shape here where it's more of a square in the back, if it doesn't fit in there, it might also cause the bolt to get stuck back. So you can go ahead and cut this shape here in the back. It doesn't hurt. I mean, if you need to, you can go ahead and cut it. So actually our latest version that's coming out in a few days will already have this cut by the machinist. So it's pre-cut. I just put it on the grinder really quick, you know. So you make kind of like a V shape, you know. Reason is that hole right there in there, it might be too small for that wide. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't fit in there. So on a low shelf, that's not an issue. It's just on these high shelf, depending on how big that gap is. Like this one, it fits fine. We don't have any issue. So here's the square shape, you know, one. And we don't have any issue at all. See, it fits right in. Flush. Otherwise, it might sit like this. So that's pretty much it for tuning. When people refer to tuning, they're talking about this activator leg here. Typically, you don't touch this and usually fit. So like I said, first, make sure the housing fit. Second, make sure this fit. The only thing you need to do this is shave the top here. Okay. I know the beta one has this big old lump right here. Yeah, you need to get rid of that big lump. I don't know why it's there. It's not needed. It should be pretty smooth. And, you know, it sits flat like that. So after that, then you go check this right here. You can make this into a V shape. So our new version will make more of a V. Just make it fit a little better on you know, the high shelf ones. After that, you need to shave this. So go slow. We're talking about a fingernail worth of thickness, you know, one fingernail at a time. So, you know, I don't know, my fingernail is about 0.5 millimeter, maybe a little less, maybe 1/4 millimeter. But literally, you take just a little tad right there off at a time, and take another piece, no more than 1 millimeter, which is about right there. I mean, you're taking about 1 millimeter off. It's going to be about right, about that much. So this one, you can see here, it's been, you know, been machined to be shorter. Okay, that should get you going. Like I said, it's pretty simple. As long as you can push this down. Yeah, for the housing, not every lower has that little curve right here. Some are pretty bad. This is an example of one that I had to shave extra off because the upper was really tight. The hole, you know, the little horseshoe slot on the upper, it was really shallow. It wasn't thick enough. I mean, this is so this is about 2.2 millimeter. I think I shaved this down to about 2. And then I beveled the edge more. See, I bevel all the way around more just to make it, you know, easier. So that's one thing we're gonna do, you know, on the new one coming out next week is we're gonna bevel a little more. So this is what you could do if it's not, you know, you drop in and when you shut your upper down, it's having a hard time. Go ahead and bevel more. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt for you to bevel more around here just so the upper would fit down easier. And like I said, you can put this into your upper and kind of see how it fits, you know. You can actually put this into your upper. For example, this one, you know, make sure it fits in here, you know. Make sure it's not real tight, you know. You can wiggle a little bit, you know. I mean, you don't want it loose, but it should wiggle like this. You don't want it too tight. I mean, it still works if it's tight, but it's going to be very hard to close down, you know, because you have to really get it exactly on there.